New on 11 at 11, it is said the pen is mightier than the sword. For one father and teacher, he's counting on it as he takes the tragedy of his son's overdose to the classroom in the fight against heroin.
Josh was my middle child. He was a typical middle child. Josh was the funniest guy in the room, no matter who was in the room. He was just the most charming young man. We could not get enough of his company. Heroin wrapped itself around his neck like a python until it eventually strangled the life out of him.
When you get to heaven, what will you say to him?
I missed you.
Todd Brabender doesn't want you to know who he is, but he does want you to know his son.
We were a camping family. My kids went camping when they were before 1 year old.
Josh loved being in nature. His entire childhood revolved around exploring.
He'd leave the house at 9 o'clock in the morning and play in the woods till 5 o'clock at night. Now, obviously, we checked on him.
Sure.
But he loved being outdoors.
That fun-loving spirit who lit up a room began to change his freshman year in high school.
He got into a drug crowd and started experimenting.
Prescription pain pills soon led to heroin and the start of the addiction cycle.
He would work, sometimes 8, 9, 12 months at a time. Clean, showed up for work every day, but then the relapse would come, and I could never explain why. In fact, Josh could never explain why.
Years in and out of rehab just didn't work for Josh, and heroin's python grip finally took its toll.
On Saturday, January 2nd, 2016 at 1:37 a.m., my 24-year-old son, Josh Brabender, passed away from a heroin overdose that occurred 48 hours earlier.
The letter Todd is reading,
Josh passed away quietly while I held his hand,
is one he wrote to his 8th grade students at Holy Family Church in Oldenburg, Indiana.
After Josh passed, I stayed up all night and I was just sitting alone in my living room, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 hours after he passed, and I said, I got to talk to my 8th graders.
The message is a simple one. Let them get to know Josh, and then have them know the pain, the loss. Connect so they'll think of Josh and make the right decision.
We want to get the message out and try to find some sort of silver lining in this tragedy.
If you can stop one kid at a party and he goes, I'm not doing that, because Josh's picture comes back into his mind, you've won.
Exactly right. Yep.
I'd like to thank Todd for sharing Josh's story with all of us tonight. And while Josh is gone, Todd, we'll get to see part of Josh through the eyes of his grandbaby, seen here in this sonogram that he shared with me. As for this letter that he wrote and also read to his class, I posted this on my Facebook page, McKee WCPO, if you would like to read it in full. It's also on WCPO.com with this story, where you can also find resources to help you or someone you know battling heroin addiction.